Mandarin Chinese. You know the one people always call the Mount Everest of languages? The one they say is just impossible. All those crazy-looking characters, the tonal gymnastics, it's got quite a reputation.
And yeah, that reputation is huge. It's almost always ranked as one of the absolute toughest for English speakers to pick up. But is that reputation totally deserved? Is that the whole story? I think we should find out. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to challenge that idea. We'll break the language down, the sounds, the writing, the grammar, and really see if Chinese is the monster everyone makes it out to be. All right, first things first, let's crack the spoken code. Because here's the thing, when you actually look at the sounds in Mandarin, you're going to be shocked. There are way, way fewer of them than you think. So how do you even start? Well, there's this amazing system called Pinyin. And here's the best part, it's not some new, complex script you have to learn from scratch. Pinyin uses the exact same alphabet we use in English to spell out the sounds. That means from day one, you're already working with letters you know. And get this, the entire spoken Mandarin language is built on just about 400 unique syllables. That's it. Every single word you'll ever say is just one of those 400 sounds. Now, think about English for a sec. We have something like 15,000 possible syllables. All of a sudden, 400 sounds a lot less scary, right? I mean, what this really means is that the whole sound system can fit on one page, a single chart. If you can master that chart, you can literally pronounce any word written in Pinyin. It's like a cheat code for speaking Chinese. Okay, I can hear you now. That's great, but what about the tones, right? That's the big, scary thing everyone warns you about, the part where the pitch of your voice completely changes the meaning of a word. Well, here's a little secret for you. You already use tones. All the time. Seriously. Tones are just changes in pitch. You know when you ask a question and your voice goes up, like, huh? That rising sound? That's basically the second tone in Mandarin. See? You're already doing it. All right, let's move on and tackle the big one, the writing system. And I want you to just forget everything you've heard about memorizing thousands of random squiggly pictures. Instead, I want you to think of Chinese characters like Legos. Believe it or not, there's a really logical system behind them. Most characters are built from smaller pieces called radicals. You start with a radical, which has its own core meaning, you combine it with some other parts, and boom, you've got a new character. And the best part is, its meaning is almost always connected back to that original radical. Okay, let's take a real example. See this little square? That's the radical for mouth. So whenever you see this component in another character, it's a huge clue that it has something to do with your mouth. For example, the character for to eat, shi, or to drink, he, or to sing, chung. Look, they all have that mouth radical right there. It's a clue hiding in plain sight. You know, people always say, oh, memorizing thousands of characters is so much harder than just 26 letters. But that's not really the right way to compare them. A much better comparison is to vocabulary. To get to a basic reading level in Chinese, you need to know about 800 characters. To pass a standard English proficiency test, you're looking at around 7,000 words. Puts things in a whole new light, doesn't it? And you know what else? Chinese vocabulary is often so transparent and logical. In English, we have these three totally separate words: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But in Chinese, it's literally morning meal, noon meal, and evening meal. Once you learn those basic building blocks, you can start to figure out what new words mean just by looking at them. Okay, but if there is one area where Chinese is, and I mean this, shockingly easier than English or most European languages, it's the grammar. Seriously, this might be the most mind-blowing part of this whole thing. Just think back to learning a language in school. Remember those big, horrible charts of pronouns? I, me, my, mine, he, him, his. It's a mess. Well, in Chinese, 我 means I and me. Ta covers he, him, she, and her. The word doesn't change no matter where it is in the sentence. It's just so much more efficient. Okay, brace yourselves, because this is a total game changer for anyone who's ever struggled with verb conjugations. Ready? Chinese verbs never change. Period. They don't conjugate. Ever. I mean, think about it. In English, we have to say I am, you are, he is. 3 different versions of the same verb just for the present tense. In Chinese, the verb she stays exactly the same for everybody. It doesn't matter who is doing the action, and it doesn't even change for past, present, or future. It's an absolute lifesaver. And hey, the grammar party doesn't stop there. You worried about plurals? Forget them. The word for book is the same whether you have one book or a million. What about grammatical gender? You know, how a table is masculine in some languages? Nope, a table is just a table. And all those complicated formal versus informal speech rules? Gone.
Even something as basic as asking a question is way simpler. In English, you have to do all this word-flipping gymnastics. But in Chinese, you just take a statement, like you like me, and you tack this little sound, ma, right on the end. The word order stays exactly the same. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Okay, so after all that, let's circle back to where we started. Is Mandarin Chinese really hard, or is it just different? I mean, when you really break it down, a totally different picture starts to emerge, right? The sounds? They're based on a small, totally manageable list. The writing? It's a logical system, kind of like Legos, not just a bunch of random scribbles. And the grammar? Oh, the grammar. It throws out all the stuff that trips us up in other languages, like verb conjugations and gender and plurals.
So, you see, the challenge for someone who speaks English isn't that Chinese is objectively harder. It's that it's just so fundamentally different from what our brains are used to. It really forces you to think in a brand new way. So maybe, just maybe, the question we should be asking isn't, is Chinese hard, but am I ready to learn something that's truly and fascinatingly different?